Hello and welcome to my channel. Hi everyone. Today I want to show that it is great when Muslims tell the truth. In the next video clip, we will see Mohammed hijab. He is a famous and certified Islamic scholar in the UK. He is known for his unapologetic ways of conveying information about Islam. We ex-Muslims should appreciate his honesty very much, because most scholars tend to sugarcoat, omit, and hide the evil teachings of Islam during their dawah. Afterwards, I will give commentary and attach the dalil, or the scripture basis of what he says, to further reaffirm the truth about what he said is really Islam. Let's watch it together.
Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he led what would be considered, in a sense, a war cult, a death cult, and that he spread Islam in this way.
Hijab surprisingly admitted that Islam is a death and war cult. It is the way that Islam was spread by Muhammad back then. I know many Muslims who are in denial about this. They believe that Prophet Muhammad was the friendly neighborhood prophet, who spread Islam through love and charity and compassion. Let's open up the Quran and see. There are a lot of verses that talk about fighting the disbelievers. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 191 reads, "And kill them wherever you overtake them, and expel them from wherever they have expelled you, and fitna is worse than killing. And do not fight them at Al-Masjid al-Haram until they fight you there. But if they fight you, then kill them. Such is the recompense of the disbelievers." First, note a strange and disturbing message, smacked right in the middle of this verse, that fitna, or slander, is worse than killing. Quran actually teaches Muslims that spoken words are worse than killing. It is insane. How can words be worse than actual killings? Anyway, this verse is compelling Muslims to fight the disbelievers, that is, all non-Muslims. Doesn't matter if you are atheist, Christians, Jews, Hindus, or Buddhists. The Quran tells Muslims to fight you. Then another verse, Surah Nisa, verse 95 reads, "Not equal are those believers remaining at home, other than the disabled, and the mujahideen, who strive and fight in the cause of Allah with their wealth and their lives. Allah has preferred the mujahideen through their wealth and their lives over those who remain behind, by degrees. And to all Allah has promised the best. But Allah has preferred the mujahideen over those who remain behind with a great reward." This verse is ridiculing the Muslims who wishes not to fight, who chose peace. Again, compelling more Muslims to fight disbelievers. When I was in school some 30 years ago, I was taught about the greatness of Islam through the history lesson in Islam. I was taught that the Prophet led a lot of wars. On top of my head I could recall the names of these wars: Badr, Uhud, Tabuk, Khandak, Khaybar, among others. Imagine in one person's lifetime, the Prophet actually led more than 10 wars and killed so many disbelievers. All because they refused to become Muslims. Or they refused to accept Sharia law. And here is an authentic hadith that solidifies what hijab said, that Islam is a war cult. Narrated Abu Ishaq, once, while I was sitting beside Zayd bin al-Arqam, he was asked, "How many ghazwat did the Prophet undertake?" Zayd replied, 19. They said, "In how many ghazwat did you join him?" He replied, 17. I asked, "Which of these was the first?" He replied, Al-Ashira or Al-Ashiru. Note that the hadith did not translate the ghazwat word, perhaps purposefully. Ghazwat means invasion. So, the authentic hadith tells us that the Prophet undertake 19 invasions through war. That's all in his lifetime. Such a brutal warlord. Let's watch the next clip of hijab.
Islam is a warrior religion in many ways, and it's unapologetically so. It's about expansion, it's about conquest and so on.
In this clip, hijab said Islam is a warrior religion. That means Islam expects its followers to be a warrior and warriors go to war. This is in line with the authentic hadith, narrated Rifa. Gabriel came to the Prophet and said, "How do you look upon the warriors of Badr among yourselves?" The Prophet said, as the best of the Muslims or said a similar statement. Okay, imagine that. The Prophet of God calls the Muslims who go to war and fight disbelievers, as they invade their nations, as the best of the Muslims. Indeed, it is true, because the Prophet himself goes to multiple wars, and he is said to be the best example of mankind. Let's watch the next clip.
Reason why you have to fight them is because they are Jews and Christians. You should fight those empires around you, or those hukumat around you, which are Jew or Christian, until they give the jizya. That's fine. That we already know Islam allows. And then the howness of that is in the hadith. The three options that they're given: either you give the jizya, or you do this, or you do that. We're not apologetic about that point. That is truth.
Hijab said Muslims must fight the Christians and Jews until they pay jizya. And he is telling the truth, and proudly not apologetic about it. But what are the three options he talked about? He mentioned that it's either you pay the jizya, or you do this, or you do that. Even as unapologetic as he wants to be, he finds it hard to say the other two options out loud. For those who do not know, the three options are: convert to Islam, remain non-Muslim but pay jizya, or die. These are not much of an option, is it? You can stay as a non-Muslim under Islamic rule, but you are their slave and you need to pay extra tax. The other option is to be executed. What hijab says is in the surah at Tawbah, verse 29. It reads, "Fight against those who do not believe in Allah or in the last day, and who do not consider unlawful what Allah and His Messenger have made unlawful, and who do not adopt the religion of truth, i.e. Islam, from those who were given the scripture. Fight them until they give the jizya willingly while they are humbled." Mohammed Hijab is my favorite Islamic scholar, because he is honest in his dawah. He does not sugarcoat anything. He tells it as it is. We should thank him because he is exposing Islam as a death cult, and as the most dangerous religion to